Hello folks and welcome back to Rome Total War. I am Conostip and this is going to be part 41 of my Imperial campaign where I'm playing as Egypt. And before I get into this episode, I want to sort of discuss something that has been on my mind with both of my Rome campaigns so far, and that is the pace of play, which, not that there's been any complaints, oddly enough, y'all have been wonderful with your patience and your interest in these campaigns, but it is something that has been on my mind, because I know these campaigns have been slow. Even by my standards, they've been slow. And it's something that I'm continuing to keep in my mind constantly when I'm trying to figure out how exactly do I want to move forward, not just with these campaigns, but more so with my future campaigns that I do play, because getting that good start of the campaign is going to be important. As you all know, I don't like playing blitz campaigns, but I understand the value of having a blitz opening to secure limited borders, so you don't have to, have so many standing armies in the early game, whether it's eliminating early potential threats or securing resources. I understand the value of the early game blitz, I do. I also understand the value of the mid and end game blitz, but that's where I like to, have fun and not just blitz the entire campaign. As you all know, I understand that. But still, there's definitely, there's room here for improvement, and that's something that I am very aware of. And a large part of that is due to the switch, of course, from Shogun 1 and Medieval 1 into this 3D strategy map. And this is something that I've touched on a little bit in the past, but I just want to kind of go over it again, just because I do think that I'm starting to come up with some solutions for my future campaigns. Now, it's important for me to understand that it takes longer for armies to coalesce and to, unite and then march on an objective in this style of map, where units are going to be trained up in different settlements, and then they have to march to, maybe a turn or two to group up together, and then march from there. And depending on the infrastructure of wherever they're marching, it could take a long time. If there's siege equipment, or infantry, it's going to take longer as well. These are all things that I need to really understand and keep in mind moving forward. And it's surprised me, I suppose, how long it takes. It takes time. It really does. It's funny because you get, like, for me, I get used to the risk style board game map of Medieval 1 and Shogun 1, and that part of the campaign feels a lot faster because you can have these ports that connect all of your provinces, and if you have the boats in place that are connecting your provinces, and in Shogun 1 you don't even need boats, you just need the ports, you can transport your troops from one side of the map to the other instantaneously, and it really does make things feel a lot faster when it comes to the organizing and preparation part of the campaign. And so, like, what happens is that for those games, when I'm editing those campaigns and making them so that I want to upload them to YouTube, I can cut a lot of that part out. For instance, I can kind of burn through a few turns and cut out those parts because I know that there's not going to be a lot happening. However, in this campaign, in these campaigns in Rome, a lot can happen in those times that it takes for these armies to coalesce and march on a potential enemy. There's a lot of variables when it comes to brigands popping up or freaking natural disasters taking out half my army, or generals or whatnot, or plague, or there's just a lot of variables, it seems like, when it comes to slowing me down. And a part of that has to do with this mindset that I've had since my Shogun days, which is that not every settlement needs to be built up for military. Just certain settlements need to, or provinces need to be focused on that. And that's enough. Like, as long as you have like a good couple sectors, essentially, like a sector, in my mind, when I'm thinking, like, with my medieval brain and Shogun brain, I would think Damascus, Sidon, Antioch. One would be cav, one would be infantry, one would be like ranged or something. Down here, kind of do the same thing with these three. So I could have essentially two sectors, right? Boom, here, and then, these three here. And then, this could be another sector, right? If I were to have, if I were to keep Fraspa, for instance, I'm not going to, but, this could be like another sector or something like that. You guys get the idea. But that leaves out a lot of settlements that I end up, not using from a military standpoint. And, that's because I look at it and I think, well, why would I use Demantha? Why would I use Seleucia? They're so far away. Why use them? And so I haven't. And this is the same thing with my Julii campaign as well, where there's certain places where I've just decided, hey, let's just go economy and not really worry too much about military. Of course, the problem though is that in a lot of these places where I am going military, they are also good economy places, so I do need to balance that still there. But we're running into this issue where I'm just not moving fast enough. I'm not getting armies together fast enough, and obviously I'm not making aggressive moves on the enemy fast enough. Not in a sense that I'm worried about this campaign or my Julia campaign. When it comes to like winning, I think I'm fine. I'm not saying any of this to say that I'm stuck and I'm not gonna, I'm losing the game. No. I'm fine. I'm fine. And I think you all know that. It's okay. This isn't me conceding defeat or anything. I'm just admitting, and I want you all to know that this is going a lot slower than even I want it to be. And, whatever, it's a learning experience, but I just want you all to know this. So the solution, enough of me like that's the problem, right? So the solution that I've finally come up with, and it's a simple one, all right? It's not going to blow your minds or anything. Might be obvious to all of you, but here's the deal. My thing with when I like conquer something and it's a small tier 1 town, that is useless as dirt. There's nothing I can't get. It's just a tier 1 barracks I can get. And these tier 1 barracks units are very, very pitiful. For Egypt, they're actually decent because the Nubian spears can't afford failings. So like it's all right, but a lot of them are very bad for other factions. Like the Town Watch for the Romans is really bad. The warbands for the barbarians is actually formidable as well. So maybe it's just the Romans have the worst drill. I don't know. Maybe it's just the Romans. But my point though is that those tier 1 towns really don't offer a lot. You can't even build a port at a tier 1. So what ends up happening, and I think this has been a good idea of mine, is that for those settlements, just keep the taxes on low, build whatever I need to build to improve population growth, whether it's the Temple of Ceres for the Julii, farm improvements for that population growth. If I can build a tier 1 market at a tier 1, I can't remember. Nope, that's not the right building. That's not, nope, neither of those is the right building. Those markets, yeah, I can't get markets in tier 1, yeah. And that improves population growth as well. But yeah, you get the idea. So that's been my plan, right? Just get that tier 1 to a tier 2. Once I have a large town, then I can actually build these other military buildings. This is when I can build a tier 2. Oh, that's a traitor. If I can build a tier 2 barracks, that actually gives, something that can hold the line a little bit better. I can build my tier 1 stables, just cavalry. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be good. It really doesn't. It just needs to be cavalry. Just something that can chase stuff down and charge stuff and whatever. And same thing with the tier 1 range units. They don't need to be good. It's just something to screen my infantry, bait out enemy charges. They can provide flankers, and they can also assist in running stuff down as well. Especially in this game, they're pretty fast in Rome, so they are also useful, of course. So and that's been my goal, I guess, for the early game, for all of the Total War games that I've played, is to get to my first tier balanced army. I don't need high tier stuff to win in the early game. You shouldn't need to. I just want balance. I just want, some fast stuff, some shooty stuff, and some holdy stuff, some killy stuff. And the generals units do a lot of work in this game as well, especially in the early game. So that's something that I need to be taking more advantage of, is saying, all right, every single freaking tier 2 settlement that I have, as soon as you become a tier 2, I can pump taxes up. That's fine, as long as I can, handle it with the public order. once I get to a tier 2, I'm fine with not racing to a tier 3 or tier 4 when it comes to population growth, because a tier 2 gets me what I need at that point. That being, you know, the stables and the practice range, the port, stuff like, you know, that's really just what I need. From what I've seen, stuff grows fine enough without additional help, you know, without turbocharging, without intentionally dropping taxes to load to turbocharge to a minor city. I so far have not felt like I've needed that in any of my campaigns. So I'm fine, like, once I get to a tier 2, just keep the taxes as high as I can, essentially. And that's felt okay. But what hasn't felt okay is being as selective as I have been with where I am producing and training my soldiers. What I should be doing is training them everywhere. Everywhere. Just do it. I can try to be smart about it. You know, for instance, I can think like Demantha, Susa, Seleucia, very far away from my front lines. So guess what? What should they be doing then? How about cavalry? Why? Because they move faster. Duh. So they'll get to the front lines faster. Stuff like that. Like, that's something that these places should be contributing. My front lines, like my very, very front lines, in this case, like Antioch, what could they be doing? Artillery. Why not? And then as we get closer and closer, we could be looking at spears and archers. And you guys get the picture. So that's something that like these like middle, like I could be doing like spears here, and then here could be like a core of like, I don't know, chariots and archers or something, and then spears and artillery. Like, yeah, you guys get the idea. Now, yes, the question then is like, well, can I afford that then if I'm focusing on getting military buildings everywhere and not focusing on economy buildings? Well, I don't know yet. That's just, you know, this is all planned in my brain so far, and it's not a plan that I've put into action, of course. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. So I don't know how this is going to work, but I feel like those buildings that I'm talking about, for one thing, I'm not saying I want to build barracks, practice range, and stables in every single settlement. That's not what I'm saying. Keep doing the oh gosh, what would I call it? The you know, doing like focusing on one kind of thing for each settlement. I can keep doing that. That's fine, but just make everything be doing something instead of having these settlements like Petra and Bastra and everything. You know, like, and instead of just having settlements that are just not contributing anything. Everyone should be contributing something. This is what I'm trying to say here. And I don't think that's asking too much. Now, would that continue on into the minor city and the large city and the huge city? I don't know. Because what I've found so far, like in attacking the Parthians and taking the Armenian settlements, is that the AI is building their stuff up. And I've been able to conquer stuff and like retrain everything in certain settlements. So that's been a very interesting experience for me to think like, okay, I don't know if I need to be doing that whole training everything everywhere all the time past tier 2. That might be something that I just need to get going, sort of like in the, you know, early game / early mid game, just to get me to push out and take settlements a bit faster. So anyway, that's okay. That's enough of that rant. I think you guys get the picture. What was I looking at here? Yeah, 18 regions controlled, and I need 50. So we have a ways to go. Now this will, as you all know, this will snowball at a point where I will be taking regions faster. But I think that for that to happen, I need to, you know, have more production centers. So with that being said, I'm not going to build anything yet because I'm still working on Kotyas. This is going to be 4 turns before this surrenders. I'm not waiting 4 turns. I'm going to wait 3 turns, and then I'm going to break the siege and then send my diplomat in to talk to them and see where they are at. Now, that's all, you know, I made a blunder. I made a pathing blunder. It's very tempting to like reboot from, I don't know, an old autosave or something, but I didn't do that. I made the mistake. I need to learn this mistake because this is something that isn't just going to end here in Rome. I need to learn this lesson for every single Total War game from here on onward, because I need to hold that right click and then drag it out to sea and make sure he's going where I want him to go, instead of having him right next to the freaking army and going, yeah, he can get there, and just clicking on him, and then he just goes the other way. So I was like, oh god, I hated that so much. But that's on me. I need to learn these lessons. So he might get caught right here. Like, he's very close to that guy, and that looks like the distance that I wouldn't be able to make, but the AI would. I'm just being, it's a conspiracy theory. But yeah, we'll see. The thing though is that, for one thing, the war between me and the Greeks is not official yet. There hasn't been an actual clash yet. Sure, it looks like they are going to be attacking pretty soon, but this army is kind of stuck into a pretty interesting spot here, because I don't know. See, I need to get here. Let's just find.
Yes, my liege.
So yeah, he's there. He's right by the watchtower, and if I remember correctly, this is a pretty low tier army, although, yeah, it does have the ballistas, that's true. So this army, gosh, so this isn't even a path up here. It's hard to tell. I don't know if this army is going to be able to attack through here and then up there. It kind of looks like he can, though. It kind of looks like he would be able to do that. If not, then he has to go all the way around this way or all the way around this way. But I kind of get the feeling that he can sneak past the building. I don't know, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I was informed that the question that I had at the end of the last episode, which is that what happens to a sieging army when it gets attacked by another army, I wanted to know if that automatically broke the siege, or if I had a chance of winning the battle first, and then that decided if the siege was broken. And I was informed that as long as I win the battle, I'm fine. The siege will be maintained. So that's good news. The question though is, can I win a battle? This army wasn't really intended to fight. This is the army that gifted its spearmen and its archers and one of its desert axes to the army that took Artaxata, and then in return took 3 of the chariots off of them. And so what we have here is a very weird army. I have 5 cav units, 6 chariots, and yeah, the infantry is really weird. Like 1 archer unit, 2 spears. This is a weird army. So I'm wondering, can I get back these units? 2 spears, 1 axe, and a couple bowmen. And if I left, oh, okay, they'd be cool with that. They'd be cool with that. Artaxata, happiness-wise, is gonna be fine.
Sire.
It's tempting to bring a little bit more. What about that? And then they could get that far.
Move out.
So by next turn, they can get there. But if there's an attack that happens in this turn, see, it looks like he can attack him. That's what that looks like. Gosh, that's going to be a weird... It's going to be a weird fight if that happens. Because the Armenians could also join in. Oh man, I don't know. It'll be a learning experience. How about that? Jeez, oh Pete's, yeah. Yeah, it's a weird one. Yeah, so this army is just going to have to either fight these guys or rush back as fast as... I don't know. It's just... It sucked. This army is not supposed to be fighting. That's what this army is for. They were here literally to block armies from interrupting the siege. That was literally their job. Whatever. All right, moving on. This army, half mercenaries, half native troops, is going to be coming up here to fight brigands.
Attack!
Yeah, not yet. You gotta attack later. This rebel army that kicked my ass, mainly is just him that kicked my ass. 3 stars. Yeah, I thought it was more. Yeah, so I got 3 Bedouin archers, and I'm training up Nubian spears down here in Damantha. How many Nubian spears do I need to train up to beat this guy? I'm not worried about anything else here. It's just him. And is 3 enough? I don't think. I feel like I need like 5. Nubian spears. Yeah, I said just, not too long ago, they're decent for a tier 1. But they definitely work better with larger numbers. You know, securing their flanks, even stacking units on top of one another to provide a denser formation. That's the way to use them, definitely. So, you know, just bringing like 3 Nubians with some Bedouin archers are not going to be supporting them. Like morale-wise, they're not going to be in the same vicinity as the Nubians. They're going to be off like doing their own thing. Yeah, that doesn't feel great. I might need to like hang out here and train up a handful of more Nubians. Gosh, will I even have time? Because I'm so tempted to be like, all right, let's get some chariots or something. It's very, very tempting. Because if I'm going to be hanging out here for another, I don't know, three turns, training Nubians anyway, I may as well. So not Egyptian chariots, that's going to take 2 turns. Egyptian chariot archers, is that what I want? Yeah, sure, why not? Now, again, I'm not trying to spend a ton of money right now. Again, just because I'm working on this stuff over here. I am over 100,000, so like I probably could justify it. Yeah, I could justify spending some money, but I just want to hang on until I get the Armenian situation figured out. I just want to kind of pump the brakes because I already have some stuff to spend money on. Like down here, I have to keep building boats because I have this, you know, brigand pirate navy that's 3 boats strong. Yeah, I should probably train up at least like 3 more boats or something, just to make sure I can win that fight. Because if I lose that fight, you know, then they gain experience and they get tougher to kill. Over here, the Scipii are blockading Salamis. Salamis is like my best money place, so that's tough. I need to... I've been really lax with my local naval defense force because I've just been going off of 2 biremes, basically just as a taxi service for my armies back and forth between my 2 sectors of my empire. But now that the Brudii, I mean the Brudii have 2 fleets in the neighborhood and the Scipii have 2 fleets, it's go time. Like I need to start building navies again. You can start making your way up to Hatra.
Out of moves, great.
Yeah, and I think that Sidon needs to get going with some triremes here. And then my biremes need to hide in this port.
Yes, mighty lord.
And then we just gotta wait. Salamis is gonna have to hang in there until we have a few more boats. Maybe Jerusalem as well. I'm a little bit annoyed by that whole not being able to merge navies thing. It's only if like one of them has a star, right? Or is it if both of them have a star? If both of them are like starred admirals, then they can't merge. I don't know. I'll see. I'll train up some stuff there, and maybe even Antioch as well, just to kind of turbo build. And then should I do Alexandria? Probably, yeah. Probably should get triremes everywhere that I can, yeah. Because we got Roman boats in this neighborhood as well. I do have my 4 triremes. They're making their way. They're hustling, but yeah, this is like a generation cruise. Like, you know, it's not them or their kids that are gonna get home. It's gonna be like their grandkids that finally arrive home to the motherland of Egypt. Now we do have some Roman forces that are kind of mucking about. So we have Nefertitiapet Auletes with some Nubians and some Nile spears. This is the very beat up army that did fight my force that was hanging out on this bridge. I almost got rid of all of them, but I think it's mainly just because no, it's Captain. It's not General, Captain Secundus. Okay, so I just have to get rid of those units. That should be fine. I have him. And then, yeah, we may as well bring some light infantry as well.
Engage the enemy.
Gosh, that's giving them more of a chance than I would have thought. Triorii, Hastati, early legionaries, only 3 men in that unit, some war dogs. Yeah, gosh, I should have went after those war dogs. I didn't want to attack them because I knew that by like aggroing them, I would have automatically like made the dogs aggro all over my face. And I thought, I can avoid that. And then at the very end, I was so close to getting 85%, but was not able to pull it off. All right, let's finish these guys off, and then let's deal with the other Romans. Let's keep this one nice and simple. Oh my god, they're all the way over there. Oh, Jesus. All right, let's try to find... Maybe if we march over this ridge here, maybe we can get on even ground with them. So they just ran away. Huh. Did they not already retreat?
Victory!
Can't remember.
Mighty general.
Yeah, they did get away. Those, god damn it. That's annoying. I feel like, that should have been illegal. No, it's.
Mighty general.
Can I get down there? No,
My
no.
liege. Mighty general.
It's very tempting to. Can I beat that army with 1 general's unit, 1 unit of slingers, and 1 unit of Nubian cav? I don't know if I can.
Orders.
Okay, I could bring him down. Sakemwe could also reinforce. Okay, so that's...
My liege.
You can come down from Alexandria. What about your infantry? No, your infantry can't make it. So, 2 generals units, 1 Nubian cav, and 1 slinger. Gosh, I don't know, against... That Triorii is pretty chunky, you know? The war dogs will hunt down my slingers. And getting through Triorii with like melee slingers and cav seems a little bit tough.
Sire.
My idea with this army was to come down to this bridge. Because now that this army is on this side of the river, and they're not... Although, are they? Could they make it to the bridge? No, they could not make it to the bridge. So they're sort of committed to crossing over this way. They can't attack Thebes from this side of the river. They would have to cross here. So I'm thinking about taking you guys down here. And then with them, I think I just gotta just head them off, I suppose.
March. Sire.
I wonder if I need to... should I block the bridge with these guys?
Sire. My liege. Sire.
Maybe send down
Sire.
a handful of Nubians just in case Memphis needs to handle these guys. Just in case they kind of like squirt on over the bridge and we need to sort of chase them down or something. Yeah, we'll see about that. That is probably it for this turn, so let's go ahead, let's drop a save, and let's end this turn. And potentially a lot of stuff could happen in this turn, or potentially nothing. Yeah, the Antioch front has been really quiet, which I don't mind. And then this, nothing happened. Nothing happened. They didn't move either. Oh. Why, thank you, Greeks. Huh. I keep like looking and trying to see if I can find some answers here, but no, they just moved. Like that army, like, okay, I'm not going that way. I'm just going this way. Yeah, like come up
Forward.
here, just stand awkwardly next to the Greek army, I guess. And then, yeah, just have to wait 2 more turns before I can deal with that. I was using you to place watchtowers. I can lower taxes here, and Artaxarta and Artsakia, I guess, as well. And what the hell happened down here? Did that Roman army just bugger off? They're not like hiding underneath the settlement signage, are they? I miss a lot of agents that are hiding underneath the settlement signage. That gets me all the time. Okay. So I should be able to beat that little army. I was hoping I could get a fight though against that other Roman army because I felt like that was one of the last, I don't know, wasn't that one of the last like armies that was garrisoned in Siwa? I thought so. Maybe not. I need to get a spy over there. All right, yep, 120,000 in the treasury. That feels pretty good. Faction announcements. Pamio Alexander, quartermaster. That seems like a good one. Sounds good. What is it? Jerusalem, you have 15% to movement points. Awesome. That's great. And 2% bonus to cash gained from looting. Is that like the cash gained for any of the three options? Occupy, exterminate, and enslave. I think you can get cash from all three options. And is that just, 2% more from any of those three? That would be my guess, but I don't know for sure. So if you know the answer, let me know. And then same guy, Pamio Alexander, also gets mathematician +1 management. Perfect. Perfect. And yeah, just a bunch of boats. A bunch of boats. Let's see. War between the Senate and the Greeks. Perfect. And ceasefire between the Scipii and the Greeks and the Julia and the Greeks. Okay. Okay, not so perfect. But that's okay. The fact that like nothing happened really is great news because that gives me the time that I need up here to, well, really.
Sire.
I hope I can do this. Am I able to like redo the units with an army that's in siege? Yes, it looks like I can. Perfect. This is wonderful.
My liege.
Okay, perfect. I feel much better having to fight a battle with this army if that's what it comes down to. Yeah, that feels much better. Much better. So these guys, as far as I'm concerned, they can make their way back to Artaxata for now because I can retrain a few of them.
Sire.
And then you can continue to place
March.
watchtowers down there, and then yeah, I think I want you to
Onward.
come down here as well.
No more moves, sire.
And then yeah, let's fight these freaking brigands up here. They might be kind of tough. Are they tough? Tough? Yeah. It's the two generals. Well, not general. It's the Pontic Heavy Cav, and then then the general's unit, which is also Pontic Heavy Cav. Yeah. Yep. So those two units are going to be kind of tough. The fact that he's a 1-star general is also. Wait, is he 1-star? Yeah, he's 1-star. And then, yeah, 2 archers. Yeah. It might seem like overkill, but I'm happy I brought this big old spanking army.
The enemy. Victory.
Oh, no. No. Oh, my God. Jesus
No
Christ.
more moves, sire.
Oh, my God. Okay, I understand, as I said before in this episode, I understand that this is just the way that Total War is going to be for me. All the games past Rome obviously use the strategy map. I understand that. But are there things when it comes to the moving and selecting that they clean up? I don't know. I'm just wondering. It seems like you can kind of do what I just did, where I missed the click, I just was like, oh yeah, I'll get them. And then it just like moved and I did that space instead of that space, like that's what happened there. I don't know. I'm just wondering if you guys know, is that something that, do they like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if Creative Assembly is able to do something that made that easier in the later games or not. Down here, let's see if we can corner this
Engage the enemy.
Roman army. Oh, no freaking way. Oh my God. I think
For battle. Mighty general.
just send the cav in. I mean, I don't know where that other army went off to, but
My liege.
I mean, I could send you in. Because I just have to initiate the battle, and then they will reinforce. You know? So,
Mighty general. Engage the enemy.
yeah, so they're coming in as reinforcements. Let's make sure that I'm controlling that. And let's clean these guys up.
Bros, once more!
It is growing. They're all coming in over there. So let's just kind of move on them. From that side, we don't need to march straight up the hill at them. That seems a little bit silly. So let's get my guys sorted out. Is this a different type of terrain right here? I feel like, I don't know if I've seen this before. In the sand desert, and then you have like what appears to be like a rock desert, sort of. With, actually there's like, kind of like really short grass on here. Huh. Yeah, I wonder if that counts in a different way than the sand. It looks like they're actually going to meet us here. Ooh, can we get into formation in time? Okay, so they're going to be backing off. Okay, good. It'd be nice if we could get into formation on this even ground here. Or even if they're going to give a height advantage, I'll take that as well. I kind of like this tactic that I've been using where I put the cavalry almost as kind of like bait for their spears, right? Because their Triarii, they know that they're going to succeed against my cavalry, so of course they attack them, but then they end up just getting shot by my stuff here. Can you guys run away from the dogs? If you guys can get away from the dogs, then those dogs will be impaling themselves onto spears. And are we doing damage against the Triarii? We are. Yeah, we're hurting them quite a bit. So let's get my cav back up. And our dogs fighting the spears now? They are, yeah. So, spears should do well against the dogs, I think. I reckon so. Yep, Triarii are getting shredded. The 3 early legionaries are making their march. And Cav are moving up here. And even if my skirmishers went out of ammo, yeah, you're out of ammo. Are there still some dogs here? Still a handful of dogs. Alright, skirmishers, get in there and help clean up those dogs. Because you guys still have some javelins out, and I would rather you guys... Alright, never mind. Nubians took care of the dogs for you. So you guys get up there and start throwing some javelins. Triarii make... Yeah, they're just... See, they know what they're good against. They know that they want to fight the cavalry. Man, those are some fast spearmen, I will say that. Jeez, oh Pete. Yeah, let's try to get them away. And there's the break. So let's turn the cav back around and let's hit them. And now... Yeah. Tempted to charge at the Estati. Let's get my general over here so we can charge down the dog handlers. And did we wipe up those Triarii? Yes, we did. And... Alright, Hastati guys are getting wasted by javelins and archers. Let's charge down those war dog handlers with my... Alright, they want to throw some Pelum at us. Alright. So you guys get back. And try to get them to attack our... Man, you guys don't like skirmishing in this. Alright, hey, we routed them off. Good job. You guys knew what you were doing the whole time.
As enemies, these men are perfect.
I don't need to...
They are running from the battle in
only 70% of them have been killed, so I think I have to continue this. Gosh darn it. Oh dear, I hope this is enough. Did we get him? 96%? That should be enough. Yeah, skirmishers are doing a pretty good job of running these guys down, but it didn't get all of them. Get that guy! Get that guy! Oh yeah, got him! Got him!
Victory lies in your grasp, and there is nothing the enemy can do but run.
So we did lose 45 men, but that little ragtag Roman army has been dealt with. Now, yeah, no idea what happened to that other Roman army. I mean, I say no idea. I could imagine what happened. I imagine they just retreated back because they had no good avenue of attack, right?
Mighty general.
So let's get you guys back into Memphis, and then you guys have to hang out here for now. That's fine.
Sire!
And then you, you're fine here. You can reach both bridges from here, so that's fine. I may as well splurge just a little bit here and get myself a spy. Oh, can I? Yes, I can. Let's get a spy here in Memphis. And wait, actually, wait a minute. I think that it's the... Is this set? Damn, it doesn't tell me. How do I know what temple I have once I get to the top tier? Okay, it says it right there, but primarily a set. Okay, you have to kind of search for it. I get it. All right. I feel like off the top of my head, I think that set does give bonuses to agents. But what I mean, it gives like retinue, I think. Like you get the courtesan and the dancer to agents that are trained up in set, kind of like for agents trained up in Bacchus buildings as well for the Julii. So I think so. So let's get a spy trained up here. And let's get some vision on Siwa. I want to know what's happening over there. I don't like it. I don't like it when I can't see what's happening. That should be fine though. Let's drop a save and let's end this turn. And yeah, the Scipii were nice enough to stop blockading Salamis. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Oh yeah, I should be assassinating Greek diplomats. What am I thinking? Gosh. Scythians are all right. Wow, the Spanish are moving. I like to see the Spanish move. Any vision on? Haha, you got brigands in your province. Haha, that sucks. I like to see the Spanish do stuff. It's always exciting. Let's help by the Julii, let's help by the Spanish. Alright, so they're not... I don't think... They're not at war with the Julii yet, are they? I keep checking this, I keep forgetting. Where are they? They're there. Yeah, so they are at war with the Julii. Got it. Wait, did they? Oh, I see. They took. Yeah, they took. Yeah, they took this place, or did they? Spanish docks. Romans. Yeah, they took. That's really confusing. It says Roman, but then it says Spanish docks. But then if you go on the settlement or the land, it's Spanish. Yeah, that's so funny. That's awesome. Oh, I love that. Yeah, they haven't gone that far. Yeah, I may as well kill some Scipii boats if I, as long as I win. I don't want to get trashed here. 3 boats versus my 4. That's kind of even, isn't it? All right, I got him, but I'm sure I took some casualties. Yeah, I got a little banged up. I probably shouldn't take too many engagements until I get home. Yeah, 2 of my triremes are pretty beat up, and we still have a lot of ocean to cover. Gosh, this is so weird. What is this Greek army? What are they doing? What is their objective? Do they even know? Maybe they can't attack through here. Maybe that's the thing, is that they can't attack my besieging army. They're not allied with the Armenians, are they? No. So, what in the gosh darn is happening here? I mean, I guess I just move to block them. Just shadow them and make sure they can't attack my guys. You were gonna go there and put down some watchtowers, but now you're not gonna do that. So let's just get to Arctic Sarda with these guys if I can. Oh, you can't get there. Shoot. You can't either, so that's fine. And would Arctic Sarda have enough to defend itself against this army? Gosh, I don't. It's hard to say. Militia hoplites are low tier, but ballistas can at least get in. And Arctic Sarda, what do I have here for? It is the large stone wall. It's not nothing. Anyway, let's go through these. Faction destroyed Thrace. Oh, bye Thrace. Yeah, the Pharaoh rejoices to see a rival people brought low. No, no, I do not. I do not rejoice. I want to see as many potential enemies for the Romans on the map for as long as possible. But it is episode 41, so I was kind of, you know, what else can I ask for? 120,000, yep, looks good. Pharaoh's Palace in Damascus looks good. And, yep, boats. And, ceasefire between the Slices and the Parthians? Okay, that's a little weird that they haven't touched borders in a very, very long time. So it's weird that it took that long. Now that I have 6 boats in the vicinity, can I get these guys together?
Aye, my lord.
And
Aye, great lord.
form
Ready to
wait,
sail.
8 boats. Yeah, because of the biremes. Yeah, let's clear off these pesky Scipii boats up there and down here. Yeah, they're blockading Salamis again. I don't like it. I don't like that one bit. And I got that spy down here. Anything? He has a pet monkey. Nice. Yeah. +2 to agent's skill. And spying talent. Dude, let's put that monkey to work.
None shall see me.
Okay, well,
No more moves.
as long as no one sees your monkey either, that's fine.
Orders.
Well, let's concentrate and try very hard and try to make sure that we click
Engage the enemy.
on the guy.
Glorious victory.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Don't call it too soon. Glorious victory. We shall see. We shall see. Yeah, I gotta have some water. Learn how to talk again. This terrain is going to be somewhat even here, so this is looking okay. We can just kind of sneak on over here, and it might have a little bit of an elevation advantage, but nothing too extreme, I don't think. It does appear like they are starting to bring their archers up to threaten my cavalry, which is coming around the flanks here, so let's just kind of move my cavalry back a little bit as our infantry continues to make its way up. And because there's more of a slope on this right side, I'm going to be playing more defensively with my Nubian Cav and not really trying to, you know, flank on up that way. Also, I think, yeah, they have Pontic Heavy Cav guarding that as well. Yeah, let's lead with my infantry. I'm okay with that. I think that my infantry is my stronger element. Although I do have numbers with my Cav. Numbers are nice, but I don't know. This Pontic Heavy Cav, that kind of concerned me. It's kind of a heavy cav unit that can also throw javelins, which I think is really neat. I think that's a kind of a cool thing. It's one of the reasons why I think the Pontic unit roster is so interesting. We are starting to take shots from their archers now, but it is being directed onto my infantry. For the time being, it looks like they're shooting at my eastern infantry and my skirmishers. And that is totally fine. My infantry can continue to move up. In fact, let's actually have them kind of angle in like that. And yeah, my archers are in range now as well. Let's keep moving up with my... Who are you? What are you? You're eastern infantry, so you probably are going to want to pressure my cavalry, would be my guess. And yeah, now they're sort of bringing their general units, or at least one of their... Is that the general? That's the general. General? General? Which one's... he has a square banner, so he's the general. Yeah, got it. I can figure things out. So my archers are shooting. Archers, are you guys shooting? It says they're idle. So, okay, so they're going to use the tactic of just standing there getting shot, and they're not even retaliating with their own archers. I mean, yeah, you can argue that my shots are being wasted into peasants, but frankly, I mean, my guys have a lot of ammunition, so I'm not that upset about it. Yeah, a lot of these shots are going on into the eastern infantry, and they're taking enough casualties for it to be worth it. Yeah, definitely. I'm fine with that. I'm fine shooting eastern infantry. And, you know, once the protective elements are gone, then we can pressure their archers with our 1,000,000 cavalry units that we have. Okay, now my archers are starting to get a little bit low here, so let's pressure again with my infantry. Let's keep these Nile spears facing those cav. And are you guys gonna move up with your pals? That's weird. You're in the same group. Why didn't you move up? Yeah, man, they are being very passive. Okay, here's a reaction. Alright, there we go. Eastern Infantry are... Okay, yep, they just wanted to... we may as well charge in. They might want to throw javelins at us, so let's not let them. Yeah, I don't know if two Nubians can beat... Let's retreat back. They're just going to skirmish us. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Even though they're like heavy units, they're still skirmishing with my Nubians. That's interesting. Alright, I don't really want cav fighting spears, so let's get back here. But we can use our camels to put some pressure on these units here. And let's see, Pontic heavy cav. Alright, let's move up my... What happened to those Eastern Spearmen? Are they still here? No, they're still here. Let's put some pressure on them. And then let's continue to push with my infantry. And then, yeah, Nubians. If those Pontic heavy cav are going to play like skirmishers, then we have to surround them as if, you know, they're skirmishers. So... Okay, they singled out a unit of my camels, so that's really intelligent of them. So let's try to support this fight with my cav and my camels and try to hit here. And yeah, they want to really smash that unit. Alright. Fair play. Let's send my Nubians in to attack those archers, and then let's send my infantry over here to support that cav fight. Did they just break all my guys? You guys didn't come in. What happened? Why? I thought I told you. I gave you guys a direct order to support the cav fight. Interesting. Alright, well... Now we have to run down a bunch of skirmishing units. Here, you guys get those archers, please. And yeah, Pontic heavy cav. Can you guys get them? Alright, there we go. Alright, that was kind of annoying. We lost 119 men. Yeah, Pontic heavy cav. I expect them to kind of play as heavy cav first and skirmishers second, but no, they were playing as an annoying Jev cav. Yeah, it's good to know. Good to know for the future when I play fight the Pontics for real. So let's send these guys back down to Hatra so that I can retrain those guys. And I think that there's not much else for me to do in this turn other than change up taxes a little bit, I think. One other thing that I have learned about this protectorate mechanic is that going forward, what I should have done, right, if the provinces that I intend to hand over to the faction that I'm attempting to make it my protectorate. In this case, I had it's a tier 1 town, Fraspa, which I will be giving back to them, and then what's the tier? I don't know. I can't tell, can I? Tier 4, maybe? Okay, I don't know what tier this is, but it's bigger, right? And it takes longer for me to siege it out. So going forward, like if I were to do this again, I would be wanting to take this place, even though it would be harder to take and to attack. I would only have to siege out the smaller town for less amount of time, right? Attacking and taking a tough big settlement is, it's one thing, but at least you can get it done in a couple of turns instead of just having an army here, or in this case 2 armies, basically just kind of basically stuck dealing with this until we can negotiate that surrender, essentially. Yeah, just one thing I have to keep in mind and learn going forward. All right, let's end this turn. And I want to attempt that protectorate in this episode. So I think this is, let me check. Is this my chance? It's gonna fall. Why can't I see this? So yeah, 1 turn before it surrenders. So I think that means this turn. So I am going to break off this siege, and then yeah, try to get that protectorate. What are you? What? See, there's like multiple Greek armies in my territories, and you know, like you can tell they want war. Like they want it. You know, don't kid yourself. They want it. Okay, brigands, they want it too. They want to get messed up. This is a very brave Scipii boat. Just kind of sailed right. It's a bireme. Oh, cute. They got away? And then what are you? You're a 1-star bireme with 9 men?
Prepare to engage.
Alright, we sunk that one.
We are
And can we get these guys again?
attack.
Hell yeah, awesome. I like that navies can actually have more than 1 engagement in 1 turn. That feels pretty nice. Let's see, 2 triremes against a, what are you? A 1-star quinquereme? No thanks. I don't like my chances in that fight. Down here though, alright, 4 triremes against 3 pirate ships. I should win, right?
Make ready for combat.
Yeah, we got him. Perfect. Now we, oh shit, okay, I didn't even see that. Oh dear, that's important. Let's when not dock. Oh yeah, I have to. I'll remember that one of these days. Oh come the frick on. Okay. So I accidentally split my boats up, and now I can't. Okay, whatever. Oh dear. So let's disband you. Let's dock you guys. It's neat. That's a neat attention to detail that you can't disband your navies unless you're docked. I like that. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Let's look at this stuff first. So 123,000 in the treasury. That feels good. Faction announcements. Diplomat dead. Is this the one? Okay, it was the one in Memphis. Okay. Coming of age. Setnafet Philometer and Samatikos. Where are you guys at? One of you is in Thebes. Management. Okay, I'll take that. That's management. This is good. Tutor. Lively. So management and movement points. And 5% discount on construction costs. Yeah, that's good. That's good shit. And yeah, understanding of mathematics. So trade bonus income and yeah, management. Yep, this is guys gonna be a good governor. And Samatikos. Okay, not as good as the other guy, but influence is fine. And yep, heartless ruler. So influence, trusty, +2 to law. I'll take that. Yep, I like law. Feeling poorly though. That one's kind of shitty. -1 command when attacking, and then -2 from your general's hit points. Yeah, that's pretty awful. And I set an effect philometer, tutor, +1 management as well. That's for, yeah, that's you. Got it. I want to see something because I want to check this out. So Samatikos, you got that feeling poorly, and I think that is an Imhotep thing. Where is the temple city? Imhotep? Horus. Okay, so it doesn't fit the narrative that I was looking to meet, but that's okay. All right, what do you guys got? Some early legionaries, quite a few of them. All right, yep, at least three that I can see. We don't have the numbers. We know one of them is full strength. And then I'm looking at more like, I want to know more. Actually, shit. Let's do this the smart way.
Unseen, unheard.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 early legionaries, all full strength. 2 Stati, and then 3 Stati, some Triarii, a couple of them, Principes. Now, as far as their supporting types of units, I'm seeing 2 Roman Cav, 1 Equites, 1 Archer Auxilia, and then 1 Jav unit, 2 Jav units, Velites, and then Light Auxilia. It's an interesting mix of old school and new school. It's interesting that they still have older units, but they're still full strength. That's kind of weird to me. Like, they still have a full strength Triarii, they still have a full strength Velites, still have a full strength Equites. You know, that's interesting to me. But yeah, there's some crunchy stuff in there. That's kind of tough. They do have a general here through 4 stars, Hieronymus Stilo. I wish you could go back to the army without clicking out and then going back in. Praetorians, cool. Yeah, and 3 more early legionaries. And then what do you have? This army's a little bit banged up. Yeah, a little bit banged up. Legionaries, Principes, early legionaries. Yeah. Yeah, but they have some experience on some of their units, and all you know, all together, obviously that's a formidable force. This force is probably, I mean, I like this force. I think they're very capable, but it's going to be curious to see which direction they go. And then this force is, you know, not much to write home about. Yeah, my reserves down here are pretty lackluster, but it's going to be interesting. If they want to split up, I can beat them. If they want to march together, then things are going to be a little bit more complicated. So I'm curious to see how they handle this invasion, or this invasion attempt, should I say.
Ready to sail.
All right, let's continue to go through this. Yep, some peasants all fixed up, and then the Greeks and the Julia are at war. Okay, okay. Now I have grabbed my handy little notebook here where I have written down the steps to get this protectorate in motion. And so step 1 I've already done, acquire a large treasury. Step 2, dominate the target militarily, and that I have done. The only thing that I could have done, which I haven't, which is blockade their port, but it should be fine. You know, other than that, I've done everything that I can. Wait until the settlement has 1 turn left before it falls, and yep, that is done as well. So now it's time for me to basically just come in there. So I'm going to break off this siege now, because I need my diplomat. You can't talk to them. Yeah, it's always stupid that you can't talk to them during a siege, because like that's not how that worked. Like during a siege, there was talking back and forth during the entire time, from beginning to end. Like that was the whole point. A siege was like a conversation. It was like you show up with an army and be like, "Hey, is this enough for you guys to open the gates?" And in many cases, they'd be like, "Yeah, you know, that's enough. Oh, the gates are open. Here you go." And then yeah, it just kind of went from, it was like a conversation the whole time. It went from there. All right, a week later, all right, you know, we got you guys circled now, and everything's cut off. You guys want to talk? And yeah, it just goes from there. The whole, you know, the fact that I have to break off a siege before I send my diplomat in just feels so weird to me. And yeah, I hope that gets changed in other Total War games. Anyway, all right, let's break. I see. I don't even want to, because I've just been here so long. But let's lift the siege and let's send in my diplomat to talk to them. And I'm reading my notes here. It says offer map information, because this is about just trying to bring them to the table. So map information, and not as a gift, just offer it and then leave the demands blank to see what they come back with. And the fact that they're asking for something means that they're willing to talk, right? So their offers, except for we will attack. That's cute. Their demands: give us 18,000 denarii, 18,440 denarii, and they want Fraspa and Artaxata. So here's the thing. I do have an offer for them. It's not that, but the fact that they're talking to me right now means that I can come in here and just want to make sure I get this right. So yeah, so what I want to offer here is I do want to offer Fraspa. Offer, give region. Fraspa. Yes. and then offer single payment. And I mean, I'll just type the whole thing in. 1, 2, 3, 6, 6, 9. My understanding is I'm going to get all of this back in the next turn. You know, that's my understanding. So 126,669, offer that. And then my demands are become protectorate. I don't need to beg them to not attack me. I'm fine on that. And let's see, offer entire treasury. I'm just reading my notes here. All right, so that looks good. Let's make this. And oh, okay, wow. Okay, that was not a good enough deal for them. No shit. We surrender our independence to no man. Why should we become slaves? For the sake of a few fine words? We think not. Interesting. Wow. I don't even, like, what else could I offer? You know? Yeah, I guess I can continue to siege them? I don't know. Yeah, that's hard to say. I don't really know where to go from there. I really thought that would have been enough of a, and I'm trying to think, like, maybe if I threaten to attack them. I'm a little bit confused here. I'm wondering why don't I have the option to say, like, I will attack if you don't accept this, because that's what I want to do. So if I offer the same thing, but then say like accept this or I will attack. Oh, it gets added, so you have to do something else first, and then you say accept or we will attack. Oh, okay, got it. Okay. So I can try this. Offering, it's the same offer, but I'm going to attach accept or we will attack to it. The thing is that it's my understanding that you have to follow through with this attack. If they don't accept this, I have to like actually attack them, but simply by putting them back under siege again would count as that attack. So I think that, you know, we'll see. We'll see with this. Yeah, no, they don't want to talk. So I have to put them under siege again.
Sire, prepare for
but then the question now is, how long am I willing to keep this up?
Settlement under siege, sir.
Because I don't want to offer any more than Fraspa. I don't want to offer Arctic Sarta. I want a foothold in this area, and this settlement, even though it's confusing the way, you know, it appears, this actually does not border these mountains up here. Yeah, the Caucasus are just bordered. If you look at the mini-map, they're just bordered by this settlement of Atropatene, and
Awaiting your command.
oh shit, no, stop. And then the settlement of Colchis. So those two settlements do border the Caucasus, but this province of Armenia itself does not. And so I want to keep a presence up here just to, you know, just to be up here, you know, and I don't want to just give up Arctic Sarta. That seems bad, but I can't just, golly, I can't just keep waiting around forever for this to work. You know, I have to go back to spending money eventually. I also saw some more brigands over here. Horse archers, Eastern infantry. Well, once this army and then these Nubians come out.
Sire.
Samantha, are you gonna be okay? Yeah. Hopefully this is gonna be enough to defeat those rebels, and then they can march north and fight those rebels. But going back to Kotais, the other option that I have is to attack them and to try to do as much damage to them as possible without killing off the faction. So that would mean not killing off their, I think they have 2 family members And so I would just want to like kill off, I don't know, one of them maybe, or not, neither of them. Or just like hurt their army a little bit. Gosh, it'd be another 9 turns. Oh, man. I don't really want to wait that long. I think that because I am over 100,000 by now in my treasury, I can probably start going back to building stuff again and training more armies. And therefore, I can start building up for another offensive. I'm probably going to have to deal with Greek armies inside of my own settlement or my own provinces first. But that's going to be leaving Sinope open for an attack, you know, theoretically. And then down here, the same thing. Like by the time these armies are taken care of, Siwa might be open to it for an attack as well. And yeah, I think it's time for me to start building stuff again. I need to build stuff. I need to train up armies again. As I was saying at the beginning of this episode, I need to get all of that production going. But then maybe at the same time, I can kind of keep my treasury over 100,000 so that I can just keep this army up here, do the same thing, maybe send in an attack, as I just said, and try to weaken this army even further. And try to get that protectorate with the Armenians, while at the same time pressing the Greeks and the Seleucids, because that's something that I'm ready to do. Yeah, that's something that it's time. It's time for me to start getting going with that. It's really disappointing. It's really disappointing that did not work. You know, because what else? I can't offer Arctic Sarta. I can't. That's too much. I wonder, gosh. But I wonder if growing Fraspa into like a large town and making this more valuable, I wonder if that is a way to convince them. That's an idea as well. It's a long way to go before they get there. But even though like I don't like the idea of using peasants and disbanding them and settling them in other provinces to like artificially inflate regions and make it, you know what I don't like doing. But in this case, I might make an exception and try to get Fraspa up to a large town, and maybe that they will value that higher. Because right now they're probably looking at it and thinking like, no, absolutely not. That's a bad deal. But, you know, maybe if I make it more valuable to them, maybe they'll start to view it a little bit differently. So in any case, that is all. Going to have to wait until next time. As always, I hope you have enjoyed this one, and thank you very much for watching. This has been Concept playing Rome Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.